Hello and welcome, Pisces, to your messages. Keep in mind these are collective and general, so receive what aligns, release what doesn't. Never give your power away to reading or outcome. Remember, you're conscious creator, so you shift and change your timeline with your free will choice. All right, Pisces, let's get into it. So there's a very important feminine energy here in your experience. We have two queens, the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. Okay, it could be a fire sign or a sign, doesn't have to be. But with the queen energy that's coming through, it doesn't feel like this is a family member. It feels like it's a friend. You're both queens here. And we have the Page of Cups. So there's something that has been sparked within your heart space that you're really excited about, some sort of new beginning. And, you know, you're wanting to have a heart to heart. Now, if there was any sort of arguments or anything that you had with this person, it feels like you guys are going to clear the air. We have the Page of Pentacles. You might even be thinking about like collaborating on some sort of opportunity moving forward. It's exciting. This energy is exciting. It's like your inner child joy, you know, wanting to be expressed. You could, know this person. This could be a best friend, or this could be somebody that you've known for a very long time, since childhood. You grew up together perhaps, but with the pages, Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups, there's some sort of announcement of a new beginning, or maybe even wanting to collaborate for some sort of new beginning. You know, the Queen of Fire is that passion and that magic and that like beautiful, like attraction and like kind of witchy energy, right? Fire sign energy. And the Queen of Pentacles is more about the stability, the home energy, the structure, the nurturing, the mother figure, right? So there's like this leadership and this nurturing. You kind of have this really cool dynamic and balance here. And longevity, it feels like, to this friendship or to this connection that you have. Now with the Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles, there might be some discussion of children, okay? There might be an announcement of a pregnancy. That could be something that's coming up here with the Page energy. But it could also just be that you're connecting and having these new beginnings, or thinking about collaborating and starting something new. With the Page of Pentacles, it could start off small, right? But then it could continue to, evolve and grow. So maybe you're going to work on a project together. You know, if this is in business, it could be like a new business partner you're collaborating with, and just kind of taking it slow with the Page energy. But it's a good vibe. It's a good vibe, and you definitely feel it here. But I'm more so getting, it's either like your great match energies, or it's that you've known, this person before. And this is a friend or a best friend or someone very close to you. Someone who's like more mystical with the Queen of Wands energy. Okay. And you could be more the business person, the career driven person, or even someone, you could be a mother as well, or wanting to be a mother. A few different messages that are coming through there, but it's exciting. It's exciting. And there's these new beginnings that are shining through here. And you both have your different strengths that really pair together and work well. Now, when we get into love and relationships, it's interesting, because we have the Eight of Swords, which speaks about kind of being stuck in your head or feeling trapped. We have the Six of Pentacles, which is, being very generous and giving quite a bit of yourself. The Three of Cups, okay, which can represent, social circles, reunion energy, celebration. And then the Three of Swords, which is betrayal, heartache, emotional wounding. What I'm kind of sensing here is that some of you could be, connecting in with friends or reconnecting with friends, and kind of supporting each other, perhaps through some sort of heartache, or through some sort of betrayal that you may have moved through. But with that Six of Pentacles, Three of Cups energy, again, I get this like teamwork energy of support coming through here, of you being able to kind of support and give, back and forth to each other. I don't know if you're like on a group chat or you're getting together, but it's definitely has to do more so with your social circles. Some of you, be aware, if you're single, you're in a situationship, we have the Six of Pentacles, which is giving to multiple parties, the Three of Cups, and the Three of Swords. This could be a third party situation, okay? So that's something that may be revealed to you with that Eight of Swords energy. So just make sure that, you're choosing what is best for you, what is most aligned for you here, okay? Because you could hear through some sort of friend group about that, right? Or it could simply be that like a friend was betrayed and you're kind of all supporting each other. I do feel like if you're in a marriage or long-term commitment, there isn't a whole lot around that in this message. This message is more like you're there for your friends, you're there for your community, you're there, for those that are moving through some sort of heartbreak, right? Or those that feel kind of stuck or they can't see certain things. You're very intuitive, so maybe you can help a friend see like, hey, this person isn't the best person, or you can share some information that's really helpful. But it feels more social to me than it feels like love and relationships and partnerships. That's what's coming through here. But yeah, I mean, if you have a habit of choosing people that don't choose you, kind of be aware of that, and you can change that habit or that routine, right? It may hurt to see the truth of situations, but ultimately it sets you free from being stuck in some sort of third party situation, right? So that's a message that is coming through there quite strong. And again, like I said, Pisces, if it's not, this isn't a message for you, it could be a friend. It could be a friend that you're kind of helping out, right? Or supporting, or like you and your friends are kind of supporting here. You're kind of like watching each other's blind spots. That's what it looks like. And you have, the golden energy, the golden aura around their crowns, like you all have kind of this wisdom and experience to share, to assist. Okay, so just that message, you'll know what resonates. If it's confusing or it's triggering, it's not a message for you. Okay, but this could be you supporting someone who's going through some sort of heartbreak or betrayal at this time. That's in your friend group or your social circle. The other message that's coming through is make sure you're balancing out your equal give and take, that you're not over giving, because there might be a lot of people that kind of you feel need you, but you need you too. So make sure that you're pouring into your cup and you're really tapping into your energy before, you go saving the day, basically here, Pisces, okay? So yeah, that's interesting. Not a whole lot about love coming through. So you might not be here for love or looking into that. You might be looking into more platonic love or friendship love. It definitely feels like with the Three of Cups, there's like a reunion, a reconnection energy coming through here with some sort of group. Okay, when we get into the family messages for you, Pisces, we have the Magician, the Six of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Hangman energy. So you're getting kind of new perspectives. If you were stuck, and this could be kind of that Eight of Swords energy, in a certain mindset around your family, it feels like that's shifting and changing. It feels like things are moving forward in a peaceful way. You're taking what was important for you to know. And this could be like, the family that you grew up with, not necessarily the family that you're creating. But you're moving on from the past with the Magician, the Eight of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Hangman. And you're just gaining a better perspective, another perspective. One that is more empowering, more freeing, one that is healthier for you, right? You might soon be traveling with family too, with the Six of Swords, the Eight of Cups. That's another message that's coming through. But it just feels like you're going to be, because you've shifted and changed here, Pisces, you're going to be seeing your family in a different way, right? Maybe in a more forgiving way, maybe in a way that is more loving, but also not just loving for them, but loving for you too, right? And some of you might be feeling like you've spent a lot of time around family and you need a break. You need a little bit of an escape. You need some space. Because you do feel like maybe you're going to be receiving some sort of download here, or you're going to be moving through some sort of change. This reminds me of like the chrysalis energy, right? And you need that space and time to do that. Others of you, you're really kind of taking accountability of like your own part in any sort of conflict within your family. You're seeing that now, because if you see he's purposely holding that rope, holding himself up there, like you could release that, right? So there's a perspective shift that's happening within your family dynamics. And a shift in kind of your own personal power, which is beautiful to see too. You're also choosing peace. Maybe before, you would jump into the argument, you would be defensive, you would, be triggered, and now you're just like, nope, I'm choosing my peace. Or I'm going to keep my peace, right? Like there's certain things that, there's times where you feel like you're, aligned or required to speak up about certain things. And there are times when you feel like you need to kind of sit back and just kind of let things play out. But definitely shift in perspective of your own personal power and kind of where you are within your family dynamics, right? And how much you have evolved and grown. Some of you even releasing some sort of codependency on family, is another message coming through. For your overall theme, Pisces, we have beginnings. I love that. Yeah. Look at the joy, the happiness, and the balance moving forward. The other thing I'm seeing too with that Three of Swords is, you could be having some sort of new beginning, but you're still healing from the past a little bit. That wounding could be an energy from the past that you're still kind of healing to create a new beginning, to create space, because we heal in order to be able to experience more joy, right? In order to create space. And that's what it feels like you're doing here. And with all those balloons, there's celebration and you're being elevated. You're being lifted to a higher timeline for this new beautiful beginning. So let's go ahead and see. Number 7. It's been challenging for you, Pisces. I can see that, but yeah, this is gorgeous. We have a new cycle is beginning in your life. Wipe the slate clean. It's now time to release the old and start again. Your soul wants you to know life goes in cycles. In the phases of the earth, the plants die in the fall so that there can be new birth in the spring. It's the universal dance of death and rebirth. There's a time to end and begin. And this is the close of one cycle and the beginning of another. Although it's often difficult to release familiar routines, situations, or relationships, when they no longer empower you, your soul asks that you do not cling to the old, but set sail into new waters. Face your fear and allow yourself to stretch in a new direction. Your soul is at your side, and wonderful opportunities will be born in your life. Wholeness occurs when you can say yes to both endings and beginnings. And the affirmation is, I cherish all the cycles in my life. So there you have it. There are endings and there are new beginnings. And that's what we have with this beautiful page energy, right? And what's ending is this heartache or this emotional wounds. And what's happening is this elevation, this higher frequency, this joy, this expansion, right? Spending more time. I almost get like you might have felt a bit lonely here, Pisces. Like even if you are with a partner, like maybe you really missed your core group of friends and it feels like you're reconnecting. You're coming back together. And that's something that's really important for you, right? So you're creating space for these new beginnings. You're honoring the cycles of your life and of your experience and, releasing old timelines and moving forward to like higher frequency ones. And it's amazing because it's impacting many areas of your life, not just love and romance, not just friendships, but also like your family, right? You're allowing yourself to align to your authentic timeline, to your higher timeline, which does require you releasing old cycles, right? And old energies and old timelines. But there's this elevation happening in all areas of your life, which is beautiful to see. And it also shows that you've done a heck of a lot of work in order to get to this place. So be really proud of yourself, Pisces. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Receive what aligns, release what doesn't. Excuse me. Take the best care of yourself. And I will see you soon.